Ever dated someone who was always forgetting their wallet? That is just the beginning. Let's talk financial red flags. When it comes to relationships, love is not enough. Financial compatibility is extremely important in ensuring long-term stability of your relationship. Yet many people overlook the financial warning signs, and then further down the line, they experience major conflicts. My name is Ola, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel for all things financial wellness. In this video, we are discussing financial red flags in relationships, the telltale signs you should look out for that could indicate future financial stress, financial irresponsibility, or even manipulation. So whether you are engaged, you are dating, or you are considering a partner, recognizing these red flags early is extremely important. Now, if your partner scores 6 out of 10, we have a pass mark, you know what to do, right? So do it for your future. But hey, we listen, we don't judge. Yeah? Now, the first telltale sign is lavish lifestyle with no clear income source. So you have someone who is always working designer clothes, flying business class, always on the high end, spending lavishly, but there's no family support. There's no parent who is a billionaire supporting them. They don't have a job that can support the kind of spending that they are doing. They don't have a side hustle either that is funding them. Basically, the math is not mathing. Now, what is the thing here? Something must be funding that spending. The cash must be coming from somewhere. So it's either they are in debt, right, and they're trading heavily on debt or on credit, or they're doing something illegal. Yeah, so they can't divulge. So if that's not your tea, right, that's not something you want to get involved in, then that's a red flag. When you see things like that, then your job is to dig deeper. Yeah. The second telltale sign is when they're always complaining about money. Now, we all know that global economy needs life, right? So we understand when we're all genuinely complaining about the economy, that's normal. Or we understand when someone has unique financial struggles, lost a job, things like that, that's normal. But when you have someone who is working, who is fine, no health issues, and is complaining about the amount of money they have and is not doing anything about it, it's a red flag. It actually is a red flag because it could actually indicate that the person doesn't have a good relationship with money, doesn't have good work ethic, doesn't see the relationship between effort and money, right? And doesn't want to connect their spending habits to their reality. Do you understand? So you have to dig deep. It might sound like, oh, Ola, this might be serious, but really, you have to dig deep. It could be a thing. You actually have to dig deep. Now, the third one is when they are overly focused on what you earn. Now, this one is a real red flag because it could be an indication of entitlement. Especially when you know that you earn well, when you work in a company that you can't deny that you have some money in your pocket, right? Now, the question is, should you have discussions around how much you earn? Yes, but not at the start. Not when, you need to get to a certain level before you can have those how much do you earn, how much savings do you have type conversations, right? Like exact details. So when you have someone that is so into your paycheck and stuff so early, it's somewhat of a red flag because it could mean that they are more interested in your financial capabilities than in you as a person. So you need to be aware. You need to look and see, what's this about? Yeah. Now, the fourth warning sign is when they avoid little bills, shared costs, they don't want to get involved, or their wallet is always missing, their bank app is never, working, their card has an issue with the bank. Somehow or the other, I just realized this trend that they are not spending money. They don't just bring out money from their pockets. It could be an indication of entitlement. They feel like, oh, you can afford it, why don't you spend, right? Or they are just very frugal, too frugal. Are you sure you can live with it? Yeah. These are things that you should look out for. You don't want to get to a point where you have someone that literally doesn't want to spend on anything, or you should be driving, you are walking because you don't want to spend money, right? So you need to actually dig deep and understand and be sure that it's actually the app that has an issue. It's not like you don't want to spend money, right? Very important. Now, the fifth red flag is when they pressure you into expensive activities, right? Now, everyone has that lavish thing they want to spend money on. I mean, life is for living, right? But when it gets to a point where you are being invited to a trip and you cannot confidently say, I can't afford this at this time, or there was a party last week, we bought ashrebi for the party, there's another party this week and you want me to spend again, or you want me to do makeup with this certain person, you know, those kind of things, right? And they're just putting you under financial duress, right? You have to consider, because if it is like this right now, as you keep going deeper into the relationship, it's most likely going to get worse, and that's the reality. So if you can't live with it in the future, like, make sure you address it right now. Yeah. And now, why is that important? Because you need a financially responsible partner who understands balance. Yes, we all want to enjoy life. Yes, life is for the living, but you have to spend some today so there's something to spend tomorrow. I hope you get that. Right. We've gone halfway down our list. So I want to know, drop in the comment section, which one would you rather have? Someone who does not want to have conversations around money, like just everything will be fine, or someone who asks so much that is like joking? So drop in the comment section, avoid or ask, which one would you rather have? And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Just hit the notification button, yeah, and subscribe. Thank you. Now, our sixth red flag, bad money attitude. Now, what do I mean by bad money attitude? If they say things like everything will sort themselves out, just buy it, somehow money will come, or debt is not a big deal, just take it, somehow or the other, you'll be paying small over time, and they don't actually plan, right? They have this carefree attitude towards finances. See, if you're not carefree like them, you are going to be frustrated. Absolutely frustrated, right? Because it could lead to major financial struggle in the future, because as you are trying to gather, somebody is helping you to scatter it. Why? Because you're not aligned, right? So this is something that we need to be aware of. And if someone has that attitude and it doesn't align with you, you know what to do. Yeah. The seventh red flag. The seventh red flag, impulsive spending. Now, this is when someone just randomly gets up without planning and goes to buy a car, puts it on their credit card, or they just see some discount offer ending in 2 days' time or ending in 5 hours, and they had no need for anything, but they just go and start shopping. Or someone comes with a story and they don't even think, they just move money out, right? Now, some of people like that tend to be very altruistic. They tend to be open-minded and very simple-minded about things. But the reality is that it is important to plan. So if you are not going to plan, then you could put everyone in a mess, right? Now, so if they can't control their spending right now, imagine how it's going to be later on. So you need to think about it objectively. It is a red flag. Like, it might sound so cool when they are impulsively spending on you, but it could be a problem later on. So don't sleep. Don't sleep. That's the most important thing. Look out for these red flags. Now, the eighth red flag, when they are too dependent on others. There's some people that are very happy with splitting their bills across people consistently. They have their own money they earn, but number one, they're not living within their salary, and they are so happy and fine with sending bills to family members, siblings, friends, or borrowing money and not paying back. You know, there's just that dependence on people, right? Why is this a problem? Because if you actually earn well, you will actually be frustrated at a point. Why? Because they will just assume you have money, why can't you spend it on me? And so there'll be that guilt tripping, gaslighting, all those things coming on board. But if you can see it right now and you can avoid it, please do. Now, you can see my shirt. Now, one of the things that we do in my company is that we help people move away from mental stress that is caused by finances. Because if you look very well, like deep down, a lot of the mental stress that people have has something to do with money. So you need to make the right decisions. You need to think through things and you need to process it quickly and run if you need to. I'm laughing so much, right? Because a lot of these things are emotional also, right? So you need to be firm. You need to know what you're doing. Now, the 9th red flag, dishonesty about small money issues. So when you have people that they took something on credit, they know they shouldn't have taken it on credit, but they did, but they can't say that they did. And then you find out later and you overlook it and you're like, oh, I didn't just want to tell you because I need to be upset. The truth about it is that if they do that on the little things, they will do that on the bigger things. It's just normal, right? And it could have financial impact on you. You might be the one bailing them out in the end, right? Especially when they didn't discuss before they jumped into something. And then when it's now a big deal, they now come and tell you. That's literally what happens most times. So if you see those telltale tiny lies, not really a big deal, you can be overlooked. Let this video be your cue to think about it deeper. Yeah. And then the final thing, the materialistic mindset, when they profile who they should interact with based on the car they are driving, the watch they're wearing, if they travel business class, all those things. Now, if your values don't align, if that's not what you're up and about, understand that it can be an issue later. Now, why would it be an issue? Because after you've critiqued everybody, why are they flying economy, blah, 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 you must fly business too. You must carry that bag and they will be under a lot of pressure. So you might be thinking, oh, this is not a big deal, but no, you must fly that business class. You must not be caught dead in economy, regardless of whether we're broke, whether we have other obligations. Those things will become priority. Why? Because that's how they think. So if your values are not aligned on that, you know what to do. Now, after we talked about the 10 things you should look out for, if you are watching and you're thinking, oh no, I might be the red flag, don't panic. Right? Don't panic. The good news is that financial habits can be learned. They can be improved upon as you go along. The most important thing is to see how these things that you think are not a big deal can impact you later in life over the long run, right? So if you are ready to level up, I recommend that at the minimum you sign up for our free newsletter. The link is in the description box. We talk about personal finance, investing, just help you adjust and make amendments to your mindset over and over and over every week. Now, whether you are looking out for the red flags or you're actually the red flag, don't forget that you can't outsource your health and your finances. You must always engage. No one can go to the gym for you and you'll be fit. Nobody can eat vegetables for you and you'll be healthy. It's the same way you have to take control of your financial life. See you in the next video.